days. But then there's a part of defining corruption that becomes quite troubling when supposedly the characters they have to define it. Some say allegedly corrupt themselves, and some say they themselves have reasons they have questions to answer even now. Well, more can be said about that. The National Dialogue on Corruption is still going on, and there are many contributions, many people defining how the fight against corruption should be done. Some say so far so good. It's been systematic, it's been, well, expository, meaning pretty much putting everybody in line to see who has become more famous and more in the limelight for what he or she has done at a time such as this. Well, that's the story around corruption so far. But the characters as well, some of them have taken out time to define corruption or act out an attitude to fight corruption in itself. Well, that's one way of thinking, and continue to think about how things will go on. Well, here's a few points not to miss out on. Did anybody hear the fact that the former NNPC boss, Andrew Yakubu, has asked the court in Kano, Federal High Court in Kano, to stand down and for them to, he's put up a suit against the EFCC to get his money back. $9.8 million US dollars, 74,000 pounds, getting it back. Should he get it back? That's the problem of digging out money from nowhere. In fact, it's supposed to be an evidence. Maybe it should have been an evidence against him, but it appears now it may work in his favor if he follows the true rule of legal interpretation. They found the money in his house. All he said was that it was given to him by an unknown person. So who knows? Can that money be used as evidence against him? Is it Nigerian money? Is it any money from anywhere? To make it even worse, it's a denomination. Now it's in foreign currency, possibly serialized as well. What would they attach the money? Will he get away with this? And the concept of fighting corruption, fighting back, is even getting more fascinating by the day. Oh, let me get your attention as well. Senate President has been making comments about how corruption, the process has been so far in light of the, remember, he's been back and forth with the CCT, the Code of Conduct Tribunal, who've been putting up a case against him so far, saying, oh, he moved money like this, moved money like that. And some of the media are also reporting that they can tell about how money moved during elections in favor of this party or that party, how 5 billion moved from one account to another account, and the owner of the account said, no, the money was not going to come for him, and he never transacted anything with this party to a large extent. So he's saying, let's be clear, I don't want to have anything to do with this business that is going on. I don't want to get myself into trouble. Almost like he was predicting the day of trouble would be around soon enough. Well, that's one way of thinking about it. Now, the Chatham House, you know them, the United Kingdom, the famous Chatham House, where a lot of speeches have been given, even by President Muhammadu Buhari and even former President Goodluck Jonathan. Well, they're also in Nigeria for the National Dialogue on Corruption. They have a report on how well we're doing and how not well we're doing in the fight against corruption. Now, also commenting about this corruption matter would have to be the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission chairman, who has made it clear, if you have an iota of corruption against me, expose me. I'm hoping I'm able to share that with you on the show today, what exactly he said in just a few minutes and how things have gone on. Also making his own contribution to the details on the fight against corruption was Ribadu. You know him as well, the man who said his life was under threat at the time James Ibori was up and doing in the trial case against him. Well, much can be said, more will be said. Only the days ahead would unfold. But let me start off this very evening by sharing with you a little bit of what Chatham House has been speaking on, what they've been saying about Nigeria and how corruption, they perceive corruption and Nigeria alongside with it so far so good. Here's a little bit of what they said at the National Dialogue earlier.
This is Femi D Live.
Collective action is required if institutional efforts are to be effective and laws meaningful.